Tawa, named after the Hopi word for the Puebloan sun god, is a genus of possible basal theropod dinosaurs from the late Triassic period. The fossil remains of Tawa hallae, the type and only species, were found in the Hayden Quarry of Ghost Ranch, New Mexico, U.S. Its discovery, alongside the relatives of Coelophysis and Herrerasaurus, supports the hypothesis that the earliest dinosaurs arose in Gondwana during the late Triassic period in what is now South America and radiated from there around the globe. The specific name honors Ruth Hall, founder of the Ghost Ranch Museum of Paleontology. So there it is. It is definitely a dinosaur and a saurischian, but may not be a theropod. Tawa. Tawa was estimated to have been 2.5 meters long as an adult and weighed about 15 kilograms. Tawa preserves characters that can be associated with different dinosaur taxa. Its skull morphology resembles that of Coelophysoids, and the ilium approximates that of a Herrerasaurid. Like Coelophysoids, Tawa has a kink in its upper jaws between the maxilla and premaxilla. With respect to the limb proportion, the femur is very long compared to the tibia. A neck vertebral adaptation in Tawa supports the hypothesis that cervical air sacs antedate the origin of the Neotheropoda and may be ancestral for saurischians, and also links the dinosaurs with the evolution of birds. Compared to earlier dinosaurs such as Herrerasaurus and Eoraptor, Tawa had a relatively slender build. A diagnosis is a statement of the anatomical features of an organism or group that collectively distinguish it from all other organisms. Some, but not all, of the features in a diagnosis are also autapomorphies. An autapomorphy is a distinctive anatomical feature that is unique to a given organism or group. According to Nesbitt et al., Tawa can be distinguished based on the following features. The proatic bones meet on the ventral midline of the endocranial cavity. The anterior tympanic recess is greatly enlarged on the anterior surface of the basio-occipital and extends onto the proatic and parabasis sphenoid. A deep recess is present on posterodorsal base of the paroccipital process, a sharp ridge extending dorsoventrally on the middle of the posterior face of the basal tuber. An incomplete ligamental sulcus is present on the posterior side of the femoral head. A semicircular muscle scar/excavation is present on the posterior face of the femoral head. A small semicircular excavation on the posterior margin of the medial posterior condyle of the proximal tibia. A step is present on the ventral surface of the astragalus metatarsal. One is similar in length to the other metatarsals. So that means it has a specific shape to its head and some stuff about its legs and its hands. So, yeah. I don't understand all of that, but basically it has some specific shapes to it that make it its own genus. Fossils now attributed to Tawa were first discovered in 2004. The holotype, a juvenile individual, cataloged GR241, consists of a mostly complete but disarticulated skull, forelimbs, and partial vertebral column, hind limbs, ribs, and gastralia. Gastralia is the belly ribs. The determination was made that this specimen is a juvenile based on the presence of an open brain case and unfused neurocentral sutures. Fossils of at least 7 other individuals were also discovered on the site. One of these specimens, catalogued GR242, is also nearly complete. An isolated femur, GR244, suggests that adults were at least 30% larger than the juvenile holotype. GR242 was assigned as a paratype for the genus, along with the specimens representing a femora, pelvis, and tail. GR155, and cervical vertebrae, GR243. All of these specimens are from the Hayden Quarry, a site in New Mexico which preserves many fossils of early dinosaurs and their close relatives. They were discovered in gray-green siltstone dating to the Norian stage of the Triassic period, about 215 to 213 million years ago. Tawa was formally described in 2009 by a group of 6 American researchers led by Sterling J. Nesbitt of the American Museum of Natural History. At the time of publication in the journal Science, Nesbitt was a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Texas at Austin's Jackson School of Geosciences. Based on the study of the overlapping material of Dromaeosaurus and Tawa, Christopher Bennett proposed that the two taxa were conspecific. forming a single growth series with D. romeri being the juvenile and Tawa being the adult. However, noting prominent differences between their femora, which cannot be attributed to variation with age, Rodrigo Müller rejected this proposal in 2017. He further noted that while D. romeri is known from juveniles only, it shares many traits in common with D. gigas, which is known from mature specimens. The type species is Tawa hallae, which was described in 2009 by Nesbitt et al. And considered more basal than Coelophysis, an early theropod from the late Triassic. In 2009, Mortimer cautioned that the analysis by Nesbitt et al. Was limited because it failed to consider all the characters of the relevant dinosaurs treated by the old analysis. Guaibasaurus, Panphagia, Sinosaurus, Dracovenator, Lophostrophius, etc. Tawa was, however, found to be more advanced than the earliest theropod dinosaurs, Eoraptor and Herrerasaurus and Styracosaurus. So that's where it is right there. More derived than Herrerasaurus and more basal than Coelophysis. Yep. Sues et al. Considered Tawa a derived early theropod. A cladistic analysis of Tawa and other early theropods indicate that the Coelophysoideae, a group of early dinosaurs, may be an artificial grouping because Tawa combines classic coelophysoid features with features which appear to be ancestral to the neotheropods. Tawa is believed to be the sister taxon of Neotheropoda, a group of carnivorous dinosaurs which largely bore only 3 functional digits on their feet. In 2011, Martinez and colleagues concluded that Tawa was the basal-most coelophysoid, while a second 2011 analysis by paleontologist Martin D. Escura and Stephen L. Brusati, as well as a follow-up analysis modified with additional data by Yu Hai Lu and colleagues in 2014, found Tawa to be a primitive theropod. This position for Tawa also recovered in the large analysis of early dinosaurs by Matthew Barron, David B. Norman, and Paul Barrett in 2017. Cao and Novas et al. Considered Tawa to be a non-Herrerasaurid Herrerasaur, although the first study placed Herrerasauria outside Dinosauria and the second placed it in Saurischia. Do you follow all that? The Hayden Quarry at Ghost Ranch belongs to the lower portion of the Petrified Forest member of the Chinle Formation in New Mexico. The discovery of Tawa, alongside the relatives of Coelophysis and Camposaurus, supports the hypothesis that the earliest dinosaurs arose in Gondwana during the late Triassic period in what is now South America, and radiated around the globe from there. Ghost Ranch was located close to the equator 200 million years ago and had a warm monsoon-like climate with heavy seasonal precipitation. Hayden Quarry, an excavation site at Ghost Ranch, has yielded a diverse collection of fossil material that included the first evidence of dinosaurs and less advanced dinosauromorphs from the same time period. The discovery indicates that the two groups lived together during the early Triassic period 235 million years ago. Tawa's paleo environment includes various archosauriforms such as crocodilomorphs, Rawasuchians, phytosaurs, and dinosauriforms like Dromaeomeron, Chindosaurus, Coelophysis, and possibly Coelophysis. Based on their review of the early carnivorous dinosaur fauna from Ghost Ranch and the Ishigualasto Formation, Nesbitt et al. Observed that each was descended from a separate lineage and inferred that the South American protocontinent Gondwana was the ancestral range for basal dinosaurs. Nesbitt et al. Observed that each was descended from a separate lineage and inferred that the South American protocontinent Gondwana was the ancestral range for basal dinosaurs. Nesbitt et al. Went on to note that dinosaurs left their ancestral range in Gondwana, and 200 million years ago they dispersed across the adjoined continents of Pangaea. Nesbitt et al. Noted that repeated flooding events collected vertebrate bones, carcasses, and plant material from the landscape surface, possibly hyper-concentrated flows, and deposited them in what is now Hayden Quarry. It was observed that these flooding events were separated by intervals where there was standing water and weakly developed, poorly drained, hydromorphic soil formation. The Tawa specimens were very well preserved, which suggests that they were buried extremely soon after dying. Whew. Okay, this has been my first read of a Wikipedia page. Let me know in the comments if you like this. Support me on Patreon. Go ahead and request these. Let me know if you enjoyed this or if you found it boring or what. I can read more Wikipedia articles if you found this interesting. Hold on, I'm trying to find something here. Yeah, they misspelled Nesbit. I don't know if it's 2 T's or 1 T, but I noticed that about halfway through while I was reading. Anyway, this was an interesting experiment. Let me know if you like this Wikipedia format. I can make more of these for TikTok and everything. And comment, like, subscribe, all that. Find me on Patreon. Let me know what you thought. Thanks.